Two media legends, 5 topics, and a moment of jackassery. This is Buy or Sell. That's Buy or Freaking Sell.
All right, here we go, gentlemen. Buy or sell number 1. If the season ended today, Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott would be the NFL MVP. Buy or sell?
Man, I love that. I can't believe we're having this conversation. I'm buying. Dak Prescott has been electric for a month. And the Cowboys are a Super Bowl contender. And if you look at the numbers that are put up by the elite quarterbacks and this MVP award, let's keep it real. It's about quarterbacks. It's just like the Heisman. It's going to go to a quarterback. He's better than Josh Allen this year. Joe Burrow is out for the season. And C.J. Stroud is a close second in my book. But I think what the Dallas Cowboys are doing with Dak Prescott, and I'm going to give some respect to Myles Garrett of the Cleveland Browns. He's the best player in the league, but he's a defender. He's not going to get that win. It's going to be Dak Prescott. And if he continues at this rate and they play like they've been playing in this tough gauntlet in December, you got Buffalo, you got the Eagles, you got the Dolphins, you got the Bills. If he continues to play the way he's been playing, he will win the MVP. If it stopped today, he'd get my vote. And if he keeps on this current pace, he's going to win the MVP. I'm buying. I'm smoking it.
Wow. Well, this is a change of pace. I'm selling.
Oh, no. Come on.
I'm selling because the first part of the statement is if the season ended today. Today, if the season ended, and I think we're confusing things here. You're saying he would get your vote today. I'm saying today he wouldn't win. Jalen Hurts would win today, even if I would argue I'm not sure he deserves it over Dak Prescott. But I think if the vote were taken today in the NFL, I think Jalen Hurts would win it. But in 2 weeks, I think the answer would and should be Dak Prescott. And then I would follow up by saying the real MVP of the Dallas Cowboys this year is CeeDee Lamb. But that's not the award. So
you can't do it if there's not a guy throwing the ball.
I don't know. He seems like he's doing a lot.
He's not going to win an MVP on end around.
Dallas has won 3 straight games by a combined margin of 127-47. They've won 7 games this season by at least 20 points. He's thrown for 300-plus yards and 3 or more touchdowns 4 times just in 5 weeks. They're a 9-point favorite against Seattle. They'll cover that easily because they're at home. Now, the disqualification for Dak Prescott as of today is that they've done this against cream puffs. They've done this against teams that suck. They've done it against teams that can't play an ounce of defense. But when he goes head-to-head with Jalen Hurts in 2 weeks and outplays him, and he might, then I think he might be the MVP. But today, I'm selling as of today.
Buy or freaking sell.
Sports Illustrated got it right in naming Colorado coach Deion Sanders the Sports Person of the Year. Buy or sell?
And I thought we smoked crack on this show. Oh, my God.
Yeah. I don't know what that was. What was he doing?
Horrible. Selling. What did he do? He kicked 80 guys off the football team. He won a couple games early, and he lost 7 out of 8 now? They're not going to make a bowl game? I mean, this isn't the Bad News Bears. I mean, we loved the Bad News Bears growing up, but they sucked. They had one player. Colorado's not very good. And the sports person of the year should be sporty. Deion is not sporty. He's a clickbait monster. What about Simone Biles? I mean, what about her? What about Coco Gauff? Those people transcended their sport this year. They didn't go 4-8. And so Deion is popular, and Deion got clicks, and Deion had cool videos, and Deion sold out stadiums in Colorado, but his product was awful in the last 8 games. Nothing about what he did at Colorado should have been considered for Sports Person of the Year. Did he get the most headlines? Yes. But did he excel? No. So I'm selling.
Yeah, I'm selling too. I mean, had it lasted longer than 2.5 months, I might buy it today, but it was really just kind of a 2-month, 3-month thing where he was the story of the day, the hottest story of the day. It was all fun. The ratings were great. But, I mean, going from 1-11 to 4 wins is not quite Sports Person of the Year. I mean, I said at the beginning of the year, if they won 6, then he would be Coach of the Year. They didn't get to 6. They've won 4. And in the process, his son is all but ruined and damaged goods to be an NFL player because he now has a broken back. I'm not. I guess they're trying to get clicks too. I don't get this at all. The totality of what he's done is not good enough. The short-term first month or two of it was spectacular. Got it. It should have been Lionel Messi.
There you go.
I mean, he did what Deion Sanders did tenfold. Right? I mean, ticket prices went from $150 to like $10,000. Apple subscriptions to the MLS package went from, $20,000 to $2 million. And
he delivered.
And he delivered, exactly. He picked up an entire league. When I really thought he was just going to kind of dance around and not care, he actually showed up and played like crazy, even though he was worn out at 37. I don't. I mean, I would say Lionel Messi, and then I just guess it's politically incorrect now to say LeBron James.
Nothing wrong with LeBron.
Yeah. I mean, I think those are two easy arguments to be made far more than Deion Sanders. I'm not even sure if he would you put him in your top 10?
No.
Yeah.
What did he do? What did he do?
Well, he won.
Where's Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
I mean, what did he do?
He went from 1-11 to 4-8.
Great.
Yeah, and got his killed crushed in the process.
Man, that's tough. Yeah,
Buy or freaking sell.
Sports Illustrated. That was our Bible growing up, along with the Dallas Morning News, Jeff. And it's taken a precipitous fall. And I hate that the quality of work done by that publication has fallen victim to just a click hunt, a subscriber hunt. That's not good. That wasn't a good journalistic piece. But it's probably going to sell quite a few magazines, and good for them.
I don't even know that. I mean, I think people have just moved on until he wins again. But yeah, maybe.
Buy or
freaking sell.
We don't know whether he's a good coach. We don't know that yet, Jeff.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron Rodgers starts for the Jets before the season is over. Buy or sell?
He's not going to play this year, guys. I'm selling. He's not going to play. Why would you give a guy $200 million and knowing that your team's not going to make the playoffs and then push him out there on a half-healed Achilles heel? You trying to get him murdered? I mean, did you see him running around on those 4 plays before he got hurt? He was overrun. That offensive line is a sieve, and he's your most important investment because you pour all this money into him. You have to protect Aaron Rodgers. The offensive line couldn't, but the coach should, and it's cool that he's back out there throwing the ball around and moving around a little bit. But what that should be about is rehabilitation, not getting ready to play the Buffalo Bills in Orchard Park in a month. No. So Aaron Rodgers, he can practice all he wants, but he should be shut down for the season. And then they come back next season, and hopefully he's better. They get some linemen to protect him. He's already got some good weapons in Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, but they need to protect him. And if that means protecting him from himself, then yes, he does not play. So I'm selling. He will not play again this season.
I'm selling barely. He'll do and get what, and here's why. Because if his ego needs him to do it, the stupid Jets will do whatever he said. The Jets have done it themselves. Their owner has done it himself. Woody Johnson's a moron. But they have ruined not only this season because of the Aaron Rodgers deal, but I suspect they may have that franchise may be sunk for the next 2 or 3 years because of the Aaron Rodgers deal. So he is, you could hear his head coach basically say he's a miracle worker. He's kissing his ass and saying he'll get whatever he wants. So if he walks up and says, you know what, I really feel like I need to play today, I think those fools will play him. I do. I don't think anyone there. I don't think anyone there because the organization is his. That roster is now his. All the good and the bad is now his because they go out and sign him. They go sign a 40-year-old guy when they could have done something else. They give up draft picks. They let him bring in his own receivers who have not done anything. They then turn around and let him bring in his own offensive coordinator who's not done anything. So they let him just put his stamp all over that franchise. I don't see them stopping him if he wanted to play this year. Now, I think he might eventually look out there and say, not because he cares about that team or he cares about anything else, but how he looks. I think he might be wise enough to say, I can't go out there because I'm going to look terrible. I think the guy's an absolute egomaniac to the point that they've given him anything and everything he wants, and I think it could be including this. So I think he's going to back away because he's now qualifying it by saying, well, if we got a shot at the playoffs. Really? They're 4-7. They're 15th in the AFC.
Not going to make it.
Yeah. I mean, you're right about the 4 plays that he was in the game. He was running on 3 of them, and the other one he got hurt. If he had not ruptured his Achilles, and if he had been playing this season, do you think he would have lasted this long?
No.
I don't either.
He wouldn't have.
No.
And so you don't push him out there. And a lot of this with Aaron Rodgers is all about attention. Yeah. He is one of the most narcissistic athletes to ever come through the pipe. He is not known as a guy that's going to show up if he's hurt. He's in the press box. He's on Pat McAfee. He's doing all he can. Look at me. Look at me. Dude, you're not going to play football this year. And if your bosses have any kind of brain, Robert Saleh's not stupid. Your bosses have any kind of brain. They've already told you, well, you can practice all you want, and you can talk to the press about hopefully coming back. But between me, you, and these 4 walls, your ass is not playing this year.
Well, what good? I don't even get what good would it do. Even if he ran around and said, look at my Achilles. I'm the $6 million man. I'm a miracle. I hate Fauci. Whatever he wants to say. But what's the point? So you trot him out there, and let's say he catches fire, and they beat somebody because of him. I don't think they will, but if they did, it still wouldn't even matter. There's no point to it.
Well, congratulations, you're 7-10.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
I mean, it's about making the playoffs, and either you're a contender or you're not. And the Jets are not a contender.
I think it's just interesting that the guy that hated science before sure does like science and medicine now.
He just hates Fauci.
Yeah, I know.
Buy or freaking sell.
That's 2 Faucis already today. It's 2 Faucis.
Even as Big 12 champions, Texas will not get into the college football playoff Final Four by or sell.
Faucis, can we work it? Let's get some more Faucis.
Man. More Fauci's, more old mans. I mean, that's my favorite. I think that the Texas Longhorns still have a chance. I'm going to buy. They're going to beat Oklahoma State, guys. They're going to whoop them. They're going to beat them by 2 or 3 touchdowns. The question is, will Florida State finally give up the ghost and lose to Louisville? That's the question. That's the question. They need 3 things to happen, and I know they're going to beat Oklahoma State. The second one is Florida State losing to Louisville. The third one, and that's a big one, they don't need Alabama to beat Georgia, because if Alabama beats Georgia, they're going to name Nick Saban Pope and put the Crimson Tide number 3 in the CFP. So that's going to hurt Texas, even though I believe the fact that they handed it to the Crimson Tide in Tuscaloosa should count for something, no matter what Alabama does. So I still believe that the Longhorns have a great opportunity to get in. Like I said on the last buy or sell, I'm probably thinking more with my travel agent heart than I am with my wallet or my brain. But it's there for them. We know they're a good team. They're probably probably the fifth or sixth best team in the country if we're keeping it real. But I believe that they're a matchup nightmare for anyone they play. Will they get the chance? Will they get to number 4? Put a gun in my head, I say no. But for the purposes of this discussion, they have a great chance. And I think Louisville's going to beat Florida State. So I'm going to buy.
You didn't mention Ohio State once. Ohio State has slotted ahead of Texas.
Ohio State shouldn't be considered because Ohio State. I'm
just saying that committee. Yeah. I mean, it was pretty symbolic by sticking them where they did. I mean, I
got you. But Ohio State has no upside now.
I know
they're done. They have no upside. Texas winning a Big 12 champion with one loss should be better than Ohio State that's not playing in its conference title game.
Yeah, I'm buying as well. I don't think it happens, but yeah, I'm going to buy this because I think not only does Texas beat Oklahoma State, who can't stop the run at all, right? They can't play run defense at all, and that's kind of a bad matchup against Texas. I think the incentive is there against Coach MAGA hat Mike Gundy. I think if they're up by 45 and the ball with 12 seconds left and the ball's on the 7, I think they're chunking in the end zone to score again. I think they'll just keep trying to score to win that beauty pageant on that day. And I have no idea what Louisville can or can't do. But if that were, yeah, I know. If that were to go down, then I kind of see it where I could see Texas would have enough, assuming they blow out Oklahoma State. I think they'd have enough popularity to get in because that's all that committee seems to care about.
Yeah, Sharks got to run the score up, and the one thing that's working against them, I think, Jeff, is they let some bad teams hang around during the regular season. Houston, TCU, those teams hung around. Even Wyoming, 10-10 after 3 quarters. I mean, Texas should have worked Wyoming. And so that might work against them. But they can look at that committee and say 52 teams before Texas, 53 teams before Texas went into Tuscaloosa and got worked. But Texas is only one of 2 teams to go in there and win. The other was LSU with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Patrick Queen, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and several others. So a lot of other teams didn't get it done. They handed it to the Tide by 10 in Tuscaloosa. That's got to count for something. And then the way Alabama has won in the last part of the season, it can only help Texas's cause. They just need them to lose to Georgia, in my opinion.
Buy or freaking sell.
Speaking of Alabama, they are more likely to cover the 5.5-point spread against Georgia than Philadelphia Eagles are to cover as a 2.5-point underdog against the 49ers. Buy or sell?
I sell because I watched Alabama against Auburn, and Alabama can be had, and they haven't played a team like Georgia all season. I think Georgia's going to beat Alabama by double digits. I believe that. There are people out there that think it's going to be one of those old school SEC, it was a 10-7 game. Oh, what a great throwback. No, that's bad football. Nobody wants to see that crap. I don't want to see a 10-7 game. I want to see a 31-24 type game. But I think that Georgia, Cameron Beck has really come on as a quarterback, and so is Milroe. But Milroe was a one-trick pony for most of the season. Auburn gifted them a win. They were dead to rights, and Auburn is not that good. Auburn is not Georgia. So I think that Georgia's going to win that game by double digits. Philly is very capable of beating the 49ers. You never know what you're going to get out of Brock Purdy. He's been a little up and down lately, and the Niners are banged up on the back end. So. And Jeff Ward's MVP is playing pretty well, Jalen Hurts. So I think that Philly has a great chance not to just cover that 2.5. They got a great chance to go in there and beat the 49ers. So I am selling.
I'm buying because I think Alabama can run on Georgia. Georgia is really good on offense, no doubt, but is not the same defensive team. They've been run on a few times this year. They haven't played a very tough schedule, so it doesn't really show up that much. I think Milroe can do some damage with his legs. I think Alabama covers that. I really do. I think they can run on Georgia. I think they suck the life out of the game too. I think it's a scare. And plus, not only do I think it's just a decent matchup for Alabama versus the Georgia defense, I think law of averages is working against Georgia. The sooner or later, it's going to be a bad day. They got lucky last year to beat Ohio State. Mm-hmm. They got lucky to win. People don't talk about it enough. They really should have lost that game. So I just sort of believe in football karma, and I think karma's going to end up catching up with them like it did USC a long time ago. When you start to slip on defense, your offense can't always be that good to make up for it, and I think it ends up costing them. I buy this. I do. I think Alabama covers that, and I have the same argument for Philly. Their DNA is just to win, and they've got it down, and they're the best team in the NFL, but I think law of averages catches up with them too.
They got lucky last week. 59-yard field goal is not lucky.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's still a 59-yard field goal.
I'm one that does not want to say the Eagles have been lucky at all, but I do think it just catches up with you. And here's the thing about the NFL. It's too many tough, exhausting games, right? They're admirable because they have that DNA where they're closers. But these games are exhausting, man. I mean,
they're dry.
They are. Those dudes work and work and work, and I just think sooner or later, both Georgia and Alabama, I think sooner or later catches up with them. So I buy.
And you know what? These are two games that I would not touch with a 10-foot pole.
Oh, hell no. No. I would take Dallas. I'd bet your house, your car, your suits, your hat, whatever you got. I would bet all that on Dallas to cover against Seattle. I would not bet against Philly no matter what. Real money, your money.
Yeah, give me the Cowboys all night long tonight, but
yeah.
I'm not touching those other two.
All right, man, as always, good stuff. Good talking to you.
All right, brother. Take care.